Okay, so we're going to continue to assemble this pipe vise. Next, what I want to do is go ahead and throw this screw in there. Now on the screw, you can note that this thing is upside down. If you look over in this other view, it's upside down. Well, we've got different ways of getting that there, but the easiest way, I think, probably is to constrain and use the insert. Now, insert's used for cylindrical type shapes, and you pick the faces that you want to mate. That circle, the indication on that circle, that face right there now is going to mate up with either one of these two circles, the actual face that those circles are on, when we pick this, and then the axes of those two pieces will mate up as well. And there you can see how they came together. So now what we've got is we've got that thing oriented like it's supposed to be. The problem is this jack screw won't move up and down. See, if we look over here in this view, that thing moves up and down just like it would if it were the real thing. So we have to go back to this this adjusting screw, and note I clicked on that, and I move over here to the left in the browser, and there we can see the PipeVise adjusting screw. Now originally it'll look like this, and you'll have to hit that plus there and expand that out. And there's the insert that we just put the constraint on. So what we're going to do is right click on that and just delete that. So essentially what we did was we reoriented this screw, and now what we're going to do is go back and constrain it again, but we'll use just the mate, and we'll pick the axis of the screw and the axis of this cylinder on the fork and hit OK. And now you can see it will move up and down on that axis. It is aligned with the axis, and it'll still spin like a screw would. So I've reoriented it and then taken that away and gone in and put the mate in so that it'll move up and down on that cylindrical surface. The next thing we want to do is put in these two guides. Okay, well, again, they're not oriented properly either. So let's go ahead and do the back one here. Now the problem is, if we go in here, and I'm going to turn the visibility off on this one, we can see what's going on there as far as that goes. But you can see that the faces that I've got mated up here is the face of the screw here on this piece, that face on the screw, and then the face on this piece right here. Well, that face is actually back in here. So if we rotate this around a little bit, you can see a little bit better. But that's actually this face right here. Excuse me. Now, one thing I'll say is that is a nice cylindrical edge right here, but this one doesn't quite match up to that because of the arc that's going on here. So it doesn't like to pick this edge right here, but you can pick this one. So keep that in mind when we're doing this project. So we're going to go in there, and I can rotate this around like so. Probably it would be okay. I'll move this in a little closer so we can zoom in there. And we'll go in and do a constraint, and again we'll do insert, and I'm going to pick this face, and I'll pick that face. Now once it gets I don't know if I actually got the first face. Okay, so there I got it, and that appears to be okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Now realize this thing will still spin around here. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, and also while I'm messing with this, what might be good is I'll click on that adjusting screw and right click and ground it. Now it won't move up and down, but I can move this one around as need be. Okay, so that puts that in position. Now the other thing is we can move this piece around here. Well, in reality, that's not the way that works. It's actually hitting over here, and it's going to hit on one side or the other there if we're not careful. So what we're going to do is we'll go in there and we're going to assign an angle to that so we can keep the orientation parallel, if you will. So we'll go in and we'll use the angle, and we'll pick this face and any face that you want it to be parallel to. Okay, and we'll let that do its thing, and you can see it's 0 right now, or you could go, in that case you might even go 180, and you can see it flipped it around. But we don't want 180, we want 0, and hit OK. And now this will not spin anymore. It's locked in. So even if we go back to the screw here and turn that grounding off, this screw will still spin. And let me back out here a little bit. The screw will still spin, but this piece is locked in, so it'll only move up and down with that screw. So that's exactly what we're after there. Well, let's go ahead and put in this last piece here. Now we could do this several different ways. What might be appropriate, we could do it just like we did the other piece, and go in there and do an insert this edge here to that same edge on the screw. But what we can do on this one might be just as easy. Would be to constrain and do an insert and just pick this circle here and that circle there. Okay, and we'll hit OK. Normally I would just hit apply, but I just got out of that. Unfortunately, I just double clicked that and it got me into the part and out of the assembly. So I just go back up here to the top and double click the assembly. And I guess before I do anything else, I'll probably hit that save button. Okay, so now what we're going to do then is note this piece right here still moves. So if you don't like that idea, and I'm going to ground this, see, this piece will spin all over. Well, we'll spin that out of our way, and then what we're going to, and I can do several different things here. I could do an insert where I could pick this face here with the circle and rotate it around and pick the other face. But really on that, all I need is a constraint of, I want to grab this axis, and I can grab any of these axes here, and that will line that up, and it locks it in now, so it can't get away from me. I'm going to unground that screw, so this whole thing will move up and down. Now, unfortunately, in Inventor, we can't control the distance this is moving. I believe in 2011 we'll be able to, but for 2010 we can't. But this thing moves up and down on that axis, and eventually you can see it's starting to get into that radius piece, so there's a little bit of an issue there. It really shouldn't go past this edge right here, otherwise it's going to be gouging in. So I think we'll stop there for that video, and then we'll come back and put these other pieces in. I don't want to get too long on this video.